Hey everyone, this is Roberto Amadeo Martocci. Welcome back to the Pep Talks podcast. Um, in the last video that I did on this topic, which was the 12-month outlook on 2024, we went through what to expect for January, February, March, how to prepare ourselves for the rest of the year, where we're going, lots of tuning in, lots of to self-care, self-love, working on all of these aspects of ourselves, physical, mental, emotional, working on our spirituality, which is really our raising our consciousness and awakening more and more and more. We talked about, you know, self-truth, seeking the truth, having clear intentions, um, doing things that are going to give you the clarity, getting rid of all the static around you, negativity, things like that, saying goodbye to things, having the courage to do that. Um, and, and just think about it, like January, February, and March. It's like 3 months of really solid commitment to your own inner work, your own journey, and your own self-discovery. So that will lead you and put you in a good place. Watch that video, by the way. Um, it will help you understand a lot before getting into this video, as it is sequential. So it's helpful to watch it in sequence. If you're someone that jumps around in a book and goes, okay, this is what I need to see right now, go for it. That's fine too. But I kind of, the sequence is important. Or even if you go back, you'll see it anyway. Do what you want. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Follow your own intuition, your own guidance, and do it the way you want it to. But definitely be purposeful in that. So, April. Let's talk about April. Well, first of all, before I talk about this, just April, May, and June is going to be a real, like, a moment. Let me put it that way. That if you're really aware of stuff and you've been doing the cleaning house that we talked about before, it's like April is saying that too. It's like, the oracle reading I did is what I'm talking about. So I got another card that's the house, and the house is on a hill, and it's white. Okay, but it still has some it's a little dingy. Like it has, the facade on this card, it's like the house is a little bit, dingy. So that's just really saying we just have to keep cleaning. We just have to, upkeep that and keep going with that. So the theme, moves from March in all that cleaning house, to April, and the goal. I started to talk about it before, then I interrupted myself. So we are moving into a period, and it's happening now. I talked a little bit about Pluto, like really briefly, coming into the picture, coming into Aquarius. January 20th is when that started happening. So that's moving. That's moving us. Like if we think of dimensions or densities, whatever you want to call them, it's like, our world that we're used to, the challenging world that we're used to is considered the 3D or third density. So, from my mentors and how they explain it, it makes sense to me, that there's levels with each one. So 3D1, 3D2, 3D3, 3D4 levels. And then it's like now, especially people that have been doing, inner work and awakening, and the earth is doing this too. It's now moved into the fourth dimension in the first level of that. So we're crossing barriers, and some people are not quite there yet, and some people are right there on the cusp, and some people are already experienced what's beyond that. So there's this big transition that's happening, which is why it's so important, to clear. It's like clear the old world is how I think of it. Clear the old densities, clean up the mess. Clean up the mess that's inside that we have made within ourselves, and other people have helped us. in that endeavor. I'll just put it that way. It's like, people that have wounded us is what I'm talking about. So seeing those lessons, getting through those lessons, still cleaning house is an April affair. And, again, connect to your heart. We said it in the other video too. It's like connecting to your heart. Um, and what does that mean? Spoke about it before, but I'm hearing that I should talk about it in a different way. So, um, before I was saying tuning into your divine purpose, like why you here, why are you here, just to be tortured. No, I'm just kidding. In 3D land. um no, it's to as the earth and as we move higher and higher and higher through the densities of the 3D. The ways to do that is to clear those wounds, clear those things, work on things, forgive yourself, like um, letting go of stuff, examine them, observe them, like I said before, and let them go. And clearing your mind and all those things I was talking about in video one. Go watch it. It gives you that clarity, and it's like you're raising and raising and raising to meet this new dimensional energy that we're moving into this year. It's already started. So time might feel different to you, especially when you're getting all that clarity, you're doing your inner work, and you're in a spiritual practice of some form or another that's helping you do that. It gets you there. Like, I don't know, I'm like a broken record with the crystal sound bowls and the guided meditation things. But what they actually do is expand you, like I was talking before in the last video. It expands you, it opens your mind. We're clearing all kinds of blockages, helping do that energetically and bringing things into your consciousness so that you can then examine them and release them. The feeling that people are saying to me, and I've experienced myself, is a feeling of timelessness. And that's a fourth dimensional energy that we're moving into. So time's going to feel different. Sometimes it's going to feel fast. Sometimes it's going to feel slow. Sometimes things are shifting. You will notice things. You'll start to go, wait a second. I know I put my glasses there, and I left the room, and I came back, and they're not there. And then I searching, and I I come back into the room eventually, gave up, and there they're sitting. So, like, that's an extreme example of it. Some of you may be experiencing that already. Some of you may not. You'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? What I'm saying is things are shifting. We have to meet that energy in order to move forward. So that's why it's so important to do this work in January, February, March. Keep doing it's ongoing. And we'll keep raising and raising and raising and raising. And by the time we get to May, end of May, you're already begun like your own personal ascension. It's like your energies are extending and you're meeting that. So your experiences will reflect the higher consciousness energies, and those will be more influential in your life. More synchronicities, more things that are going to come to you. So as I said before, January, February, March, and now through April, this is setting us up for this elevation to meet this fourth dimensional energy that's coming to us right now. I mentioned the sun a little bit too. It's like it's influencing, it's completely shifting, and a lot of solar activity and a lot of different kind of solar activity. So everything is raising. Everything is it may feel a little chaotic, at times, but you have to keep that clarity. Before I was saying keep your head straight. It's like you have to keep that clarity, and the way to do that is to keep doing that work. And back to the heart, it's like you're going to find your own divinity. And this time when I say this, It's like having an empowered um, heart energy where you can see all possibilities and feel safe and feel peace and inner peace and compassion and all of those things. Um, that's our divinity. That's what brings us closer to our divinity. And all of this stuff that is shifting and sometimes harshly in the world. Um, the card is saying, don't be afraid. It's like we can't let fear come into this changing and changing and changing and shifting and going into the unknown. You know, um, basically the crap's gonna hit the fan, and we're gonna be like very much this is the unknown. Um, and I'm not saying terrible things are going to happen to all of us. We stay in that light, we stay in that heart, we stay in that consciousness and that divinity, and it's bringing us to the higher fourth dimensional, like stage one energy, and you will have that experience and peace. So at the same time, you may, April, May, you may want to look to, and I'm gently saying this, but you may want to look on really changing your environment. I was talking about the house card. It's like, where do you want to live that will bring you the most peace and the ability to connect to nature? I feel like we need to move out of these, there's so many people in cities, and it's like that kind of energy is kind of imploding on itself. So it's bringing people down. I moved from New York because of that. I could see it happening, and I moved to a more peaceful place that I can move into my soul's mission more easily and with peace, around me, energized by nature and energized by the earth. So consider discovering where you would like to live. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not telling everybody you need to move. You need to move April, May. No. You need to consider what is right for you, what is more right for you. And if where you are now is the more right for you, then amazing. Amazing. It's just a lot of us and a lot of people have found that we really need to shift our environment. So keep that in mind as you enter April and you're doing all of your things, your inner work and cleaning your inner house. I called it inner temple. So as you do that, just keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. You go on a vacation or something. Go somewhere that is going to have you'll have some spiritual connection with, and your heart, more than thinking about where it would be. So you go somewhere, you experience it, and you're like, I feel different here. I feel wonderful here. And it's not just because you got away from work, that helps because that's static, sometimes, most of the time, we need to rest. We need to be in our own energy and be in an environment that is conducive for us to heal and, be in nature and be nurtured. Um, so, um, that's what happened to me. That's why I'm here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I went to visit my daughter at college, and lo and behold, every time I went to fly home, the flights got canceled for one thing or another. Bizarre stuff, like weird stuff, like 5 planes canceled for mechanical problems. I could not get out, kind of thing. A storm came and I couldn't get out, stuff like that. And I sat there and felt more peaceful, like my purpose, part of my, one of the places where my purpose is for helping others is here. Like, it just felt so good. And I had lived down here before, and I moved away from it. And coming back, I was like, okay, this feels right. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, and it worked out for me, So discover the environments that are most conducive to your health, to your well-being, um, what makes you smile? You know, what makes you smile? This is going to lead you to where you need to be. And if that's not, it's okay. And it's stressful to move and stuff like that. Um, but if it's the right place and you feel it and you know it, don't be afraid to start stepping in that direction. I think that's going to happen a lot this year, and we need to think about that as we're getting more clarity, as we clean up our messes, our 3D messes, I'll call them, just to be funny about it, um, so that we can see if where we are is where we want to leave. It happened to me before. I went away for 3 months somewhere, and when I came back, I really felt that I didn't belong in New York City. So however you come to that discovery, um, just as it says, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the unknown, because the unknown has wonders in it. If we move, um, it would be nice to know everything. It really would. That's why we need to listen to our guidance, because we're being moved to our alignment in the direction of where we need to be. So May, May, May is is interesting. I didn't know I was going to say what I was going to say for April, and it just came out. But it's very interesting because in May, it's like we need, there's a dog card comes up. It's like the same thing, wolf. It's like follow your instincts, follow your instincts. And I was just talking about, see how it feels to you, see what's right, examine, observe. Um, what's fueling you and what's taking energy from you. Um, and then it's also like May is kind of a time to take a risk. Um, that's a tough one, right? It's like, what am I going to say about that? Um, taking a risk means, in this instance for me, in this reading, is taking a risk on yourself. It's like, leaving a job, moving into, or just gradually transitioning and moving into something else, and in that kind of unknown space, somewhere where, oh, I always wanted to do this. And if I could, and if I had, the means and this and that, it's like I'm saying, it's like you got to walk into this risk, that's going to serve you. It's like, because then you'll be stuck. You got to move, and then, but you have to take some sort of step forward. So that's what I mean by take a risk and take a chance on yourself. Because if you're doing all that work, January, February, March, April, cleaning, tuning in, doing all that stuff, it's like you're going to know. You're going to get more intuitive information that's going to make this, taking a chance on yourself, like a no-brainer. Pretty much. It's like that clarity I was talking about gives you clarity. You're like, this is what I need to do. And then you work on taking steps forward to making those positive things happen in your life that are going to be more fulfilling for you. So, we're also called, in May, because a lot's, I keep saying this, a lot's going to happen, like things, science, like discoveries, disclosures, things like that. We have to, in all of that, seeming chaos and possible confusion around all of that, because everyone's going to be going through this. They're going to be like, what's this, who's right, who's that, like, that's what I was talking about, the confusion before. So it's very important for us to hold sacred space. I'm just going to say it. We all need a sacred space. And we hold sacred space within ourselves, our own inner temple, in our minds. And we're working on that for the first, I guess, half of the year as we progress, to raise ourselves to these higher energies. So that having a sacred space where it could be a room, like it could be anywhere. It could be you go someplace and you hold sacred space with others. You go to, a yoga shala, whatever it is your thing, your sacred space could be out in nature. It doesn't have to be that kind of, activity, physical activity, although that helps. Um, Spiritual practice. That's what I'm really talking about, and leading towards. You need to really get connected with the higher vibrational beings and helpers, and you can call them angels, guides, deities, whatever it is, and how you connect to them. What I'm hearing is daily practice. Sorry, everyone. It's time. It's time because you want to stay in those energies, and like I was saying before, it builds. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It builds and builds and builds, and the more you're seeing results, and you're proving to yourself that this is a viable way of having insight and direction and intuition and all of these things that come with now we can perceive what was normally before unseen for us, because we were in a different vibration. We were in a different environment that was not conducive to us expanding the way we are able to expand now in these new energies. So having a sacred space, your sight is increasing. So by May, you're doing all this work. You're going to get clearer and clearer and clearer, and this is the beginning and May is going to mark the beginning of change, positive change for you. So you're ascending to the higher levels. Things will get easier. There will still be challenges. There'll still be things coming that you have to observe and discern and all of those things. But I'm telling you, and I'm taking this advice myself, you got to be devoted. You have to. It's as important as eating. It's your spiritual nourishment. It's like that's where we get our life force energy and support from. Today, I was a bit stressed. I have some transitions going on financially, right? So leaving an old job, more fully into what I'm doing here, taking a risk. It's an intelligent risk. I'm thinking about it. And it was just a little bit stressful today, the unknown. So it's like, as expanded as I am and all the spiritual work I do and all of that stuff, it's like I need to check in with myself and be honest with myself. So I'm like, what is this? And because have a devoted spiritual practice and I tune into energies and I'm in my mission, helping people and things like that. I got 2 messages today, and it was just a song. It was 2 songs. One came on, and then I said, I need to listen to that song again. So I got in my car, I was going somewhere, and I listened to the song, and the next track that the algorithm, which I'll call spiritual guidance, right? Another song came on that made total sense, and it was connected with, I won't go into the detail, but it was connected with spiritual practice that I am being reminded to tune into on a daily basis. So, and reconnect with. And that when I heard that and felt that and understood that intuition, it's like I got teared up because I felt support. I felt supported. And that energy from this higher vibrational helper or guide, I'll call it, totally cleared that for me. And I had I was more hopeful in that moment, that I was just having a moment. So we're all going to have these moments. But yes, sacred space, devote to your practice. Don't get lazy about it. Everything I say to you, I say to myself, because I'm a human being that sometimes just can kind of get lazy sometimes. I try to call it, I'm taking care of my, no, I'm just kidding. I'm resting, but I can't overdo it because I've got stuff to do. I got to take care of this. I'm just saying, you know, May could be a very big turning point. The world's gonna is where we're really gonna kind of see things differently. You have to like just keep your emotional ground, like I was saying before, and don't get lost in the chaos around us. Keep your inner peace, and that's what the sacred space and all of that is for. And there are divine beings and so forth that a lot of you already know about. Um, but for those that are just stumbling upon the podcast, um, it's there's so much you can tap into. I mean, to me, it's what is magic, right? That's what I'm talking about. Tuning into these energies. It's science. It's quantum physics. You want to think of it that way, you know. Um, you're channeling energies. You're connecting to. You're becoming more aware of. You're sensing. You're drawing these energies in you, elements, the elements around. You can think of it as nature. It's like nature is the elements. Everything is there, and we are a part of that. We come from that, so we have all of those elements too. So we're really just kind of activating them. And me, I go to the beach, just like all the elements are there, and I'm standing there, and I'm tuning in, and we're sitting there, and we're soaking in the water and salt water, clearing things and absorbing. You're absorbing this magnetic energy, and you can absorb it, right? And then you channel it. I say through the heart, but you're channeling out of all of your chakras at the same time. But like your heart is like the beacon, the receiver and transmitter, or at least the I call it the higher mind, because it's discerning and figuring out everything that's going on with all. They all work together. The heart is kind of the center part. It's where they come together. The lower energies and the higher energies come together. The heart, and you have the clarity, you have the inner truth, you have all those things, and that sends it out. So you're basically charging yourself with these energies, and there's very specific ways you do it that have certain meanings and certain things, and within that are some of these higher beings that you channel in. It could be the Lemurian guides, it could be some of the other things, some of the other ones, whoever you work with. So you bring those in. You bring these energies in, and you channel it out on a very clear intention. And then the world, all of this shifting happens. Sometimes it takes time, and it shifts. It shifts for you, and your reality starts to reflect this powerful, clear intention that's charged with all of these energies, and all the energies from all of the helpers you bring in, with gratitude. Gratitude is very important. And you send it out, and you just make sure it's a very clear, pure intention that doesn't reflect any negative kind of things that you want. I want to get rid of this so much. It's like, no, this is where I want to go and where I want to be, and this is where I see himself, and this is my future, and this is what I feel. So that's why I, for April, the heart, guidance keeps talking about the heart, the heart, the heart. Now I understand. I'm on this journey with you in this video, and that's manifestation. That's full on, super powered manifestation. If you want to talk about it that way, okay? So, energy there's no bad or good. It's your intention that brings you a good result or a negative result. So be clear and pure in your intentions, and that's all I'll say about that. So you will, if you do that, like if you, I kind of think you get the feeling, and some of you already know this, it's like staying in that energy and bringing that energy here, okay? Because us, especially us that are into these practices, magical practices, temple work, divine, you know, sacred space, holding sacred space, you know, everywhere, every moment of your day. You take a moment, you know, and you do that. You can make water sacred for you. You know, I want more love in my life. I want the world, I want my life to reflect, you know, more love coming at me or within me. And you put that intention, you know, in the water, and then you drink it. You know, so you're charging the water. There's a lot of science behind this. Um, with energy and information in the energy, the information and intention, and you charge the water with that love that you want to fill yourself with, and you drink it, and it fills every cell in your body. And then that's very healing in itself. So it's like when you eat, you cook with intention. When you wake up in the morning, set an intention for yourself. We all know this. We just got to do it, you know, myself included. So let's get to June. June is interesting. It's like, you know, I was talking about May as being like a turning point. It was the beginning of that. And June, you're getting there. It's, you know, it's just helping us recognize where to be. And then, you know, we get the moon. We have a paradox, you know. Now, I can't even read this. We'll be witnessing lots of things. This is where I was talking about before, the beginnings of birth and rebirth. It was really just setting you up for it. So in June, there's going to be birth and rebirth going on, especially if you've done all of this work the first 6 months, you know, the first 5 to the end, like the end of May. I consider that this, you know, now we're in the 6th month in June. It's set up preparation, being in these higher energies, being in this fourth dimensional space where possibilities become like instantaneous, the speed of thought. You know, oftentimes I'll just think something and then it will happen because I stay in those energies. Maybe I've been doing crystal pulse too much. No, but you got to ground too. But part of that is grounding. So that you can stay in those energies, you have to be grounded. We do live in this world, but we can create the higher vibrational version of it. And all the negativity will fall away from you. So, you know, paradox. It's like we're going to be called to, like, now that a lot of things have been exposed, and we're seeing like a lot of wonders and stuff like that. I think we're going to see both sides. We're going to see, it's like a paradox. It's like, how could this be? This is going to be something where getting deeply entrenched in your spiritual practices will make that easier. Like, I don't even know how to say this. The guidance I'm getting is a paradox that's not a paradox. Now, is that a paradox in itself? A paradox that's not a paradox. So it depends on your perspective and your higher insight. So now I'm hearing train your mind. Do mind training. You know, Christos Golden Hummingbird has a mind training. You know, it's a Vimeo too. You can do it yourself. I highly suggest it. I highly do. Everything that, you know, he's a mentor of mine, and everything, one of them. One of the most amazing ones. And everything, all the guidance that he has told me, and all of the things and trainings and stuff that he's guided me through and toward and so forth, that I took flight with, it just works. And he suggested to me, and it's like, you know, you have to go for it. Take risks. Take some risks. It's not risks. You know, but anyway, that's what I was talking about in video 1, about very reputable guidance and guides, advisors, teachers, mentors that walk the walk every single day and in high levels. So you can't go wrong with the Golden Hummingbird. I don't know. I'm not trying to. I'm sorry. Christos Foster, if you're watching, this is not a shameless plug for you. I've really, really, really am where I am now because I found the two of you, you know, and you shared all these teachings and you do it too, and all your Vimeos and everything is available to anybody now. Um, and I'm so grateful. So that's it's the grateful thing. It's not the plug thing. But anyway, go find Foster and Christos if you were called to. So, let's see, witnessing birth and rebirth. I'm not gonna go crazy with June, but the moon card came up, and it's like the unseen. That's the paradox. The unseen is being seen, and it's like gonna rock our world. I think June is gonna rock our world, but if we set ourselves up January through May and get into those higher energies, really devote. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Even though, even my friends and those that were already doing this work, um, it's like you have an opportunity to do even more and devote even more. And this is going to bring you into a new light where your health will more easily rebound, where you will heal these things. It's like what's purification? It's like a snake shedding its skin and the renewal. So that's the birth, birth and rebirth. So the way we see things is going to change drastically. So we're going to have to deal with those two opposing kind of things. Let it be. There's no changing, the necessarily what we're going to witness in June. But we definitely have control over how it affects us and where we are. I mean it. It's like I don't feel unsafe with all this stuff that's going on, and this one's warring with this one, and like just all of this stuff. If you're really tuned in, you will be in the energies that are going to have these things not affect you that much. But be prepared for life to change. And this is a great thing. How long have we been in this stagnant kind of pressure? I'll call it a pressure cooker, but like pressure that these old ways keep us in these old patterns so that we can't ascend within ourselves and be more victorious. Like I see this year as an amazing opportunity for your own personal victory, that I won't get into the June through December yet, but I'll give you a little sneak preview. December, like, it's interesting that this year is really like almost spot on. December ending 2023 is like an ending, and then going into 2020, what is it, 5 December 2024 2025, the end is going to, it's like you're not going to recognize the world. Your life will change so much if you move through it, if you keep moving forward and into this higher fourth dimensional energy. And I know I keep talking about that, but in a practical way, it really means just losing the luggage. Like, do we really need to? How many years are we going to hold all this, crap inside our house, our inner temple? There's no place for it anymore. So you got to do the shadow work. Sorry. I like shadow work, okay? People might think I'm cuckoo about that, because I know what it does. The liberation that comes from understanding that these things that happened, that put you in these challenges, put you in these positions, does not have to be a permanent imprint within you. You can let it go. I mean, there's like so many discoveries, things will be mind-blowing to people. And it's been kind of held secret, some of the stuff, like being able to teleport your DNA from one solution to another. It was done in the 80s. The scientists, and my business partner and confidant um, researches all of this stuff and is finding all of this kind of lost kind of knowledge. It's like mind blowing. I'm just giving that example because it's like scientists took a solution, had a DNA strand in there, sample in a solution, and then had another test tube or whatever with a solution with nothing in it, just a plain solution. And they used frequency and some other things, technical things that I won't have to get into here. And they did that over days and days and days and days. And then when they examined the empty solution, that DNA was transferred into that solution through the information in that frequency. So imagine, there's going to be so much. I know people have been talking about epigenetics, but I think it's even more than that. It's like activating something through frequency and light. There's so many pain therapies. I know a woman who's suffering, from really bad arthritis in her knees, and she started doing, I forget what she called it. I'm going to talk to her about it. We talked in passing, and it's like she has more mobility now. It's helping the pain in a natural way. So I think medicine is evolving. Those that have a conscience that are evolving it in ways that it's just really going to help us out. But anyway, so that was just an aside. I want to give you things to look forward to as well. So not all just work, inner work, challenges, emotions, but releasing. And the most beautiful thing is when you can release something. It's so healing. It really is. And even in my example in this moment, I heard two songs. They were synchronicities. I heard the two songs together, one after another, and I had no control over it coming. And it shifted me. It helped me release something. So there's magic, and that's what's the name of the song. It was Olivia Newton-John, Magic. Listen to that song. I sent it to some people. But listen to it. Seems, it's like a song from the 80s. Like, what happened to the camera? I got blurry. They're cutting me off. They're telling me to stop talking. So anyway, check out that song if you care to. But the whole point was, it's like, we are powerful. We are magic. We are made of magic. We are designed to channel energies. We just have to relearn how to do it and remember. And that's when we get closer and closer to ourselves and our own divinity. These are like big terms, kind of, that, say a lot in one word. But that's why I keep going around it and saying it in different ways. You got to open your channels. You got to keep the flow of energy going, and on every level of your being, physical, mental, emotional, and beyond. We talk about the 7 chakras, and those are very key ways. And I do them in different way with these journeys and frequencies to release some of these imprints that are the energy is held in these chakras that pertain to those centers. And then that can open you up to your 8th chakra, which is, we'll get into that another time. No, we all know in some way. Divine connection. I'll just that's what I'm hearing, to say it that way this time. Divine connection is that 4th dimensional kind of energy is somehow, and it's it's rising within us. It's rising, 7 crown, connecting to that. So anyway, before I go way off topic, No, I'm just kidding. Um, April, keep cleaning house, keep doing the work. Broken record, I already said this 10 times. Um, Take risks, don't be afraid. Observe things, discern things, don't get caught up in the dramas, that people that are not in the awakened into these higher energies or striving towards that. um, you don't want them that to influence you. So stay on your path, connect to that path, learn the path, discover the path. Don't be afraid of it, afraid of the unknown. Okay, the first half of this year, um, it's a beautiful journey to yourself. It really is getting to know yourself even more and more and more and more closely and more intimately, and that self-love will come through that, because all of these circumstances that have made us feel judged, less than, um, all those feelings and emotions, that's other people's stuff. So we got to shed that skin, shed that snake skin, um, from all the snakes in the world. Snakes represent a lot of things that are beautiful. But in this analogy, it's like, I don't know, the butterfly cocoon, cocoon turned to the butterfly. However you want to think of this metamorphosis or this ascending, that if you're doing the work and in May, you'll start to really feel it. It'll be a gradual thing. The more devoted you are, the quicker it happens. And something, an obstacle comes in your way, say, okay, obstacle, what are you telling me? But like, make it quick. And receive it with grace, as annoying and much as it might be. But the more you do this work, those things, you're getting these lessons, you're clearing these karmas. So the harsher parts, um, of these things will be a lighter. So it'll be challenge light, you know. And I think that's it. I think I'm going to let you go for that. There's going to be, what's after June, July, August, September, and then another video for, what is it, October, November, December. It's like, what? I can't even remember the months, because time doesn't mean anything to me anymore. No, it's just guideposts. Okay, just guideposts, for the year, and things to look forward to. The second half of the year is like, is going to get better and better and better and better. You're doing all this stuff. All of my friends, all my soul family, um, that are watching this, I'm so grateful to you all. Really, really. When you find, I said it in the other one, when you find your soul family, or you start to, um, surround yourself by people that reflect this higher consciousness, um, they will, if you don't have a lot of them already, they will come as your consciousness opens. And that's how it happened for me. um, and it's when you're getting in the muck, when you're dragging through the mud of life, sometimes just reconnecting with one or more of them, it's all you need. It really, if they feel like home. So, um, find your home with others that are like you, that don't judge you and appreciate you just because you are. As fantastical, as cuckoo, as analytical, or whatever, all of the qualities of you, embrace them, and use them for your advantage, you know. And that's it. Lots of peace and love to you. I'll see you soon. Keep watching. Please tell your friends, not for me, just to get it out. Anyone you think could benefit from anything that maybe you resonated with, or whatever it is. It's like, find me. The podcast, um, ministryofthediamondlight.com, Facebook, like wherever, please, actually, you know, the Ministry of the Diamond Light Facebook page is, you can request to be invited to the private Facebook, um, community group. So if you want to connect with your soul family, I'm trying to gather y'all. So y'all who know me, come on, let's gather there too. I want to hear from you. I want to be closer with all of you. And we have a lot to offer each other, and a lot of support, and a lot of ways that we can all help each other get our messages out, our important messages in our work. So I'm all for promoting all of you. And you know who you are. There's a lot of you, actually. But yeah, let's talk. Let's talk. And I will see all y'all soon. I'm not going anywhere. You're gonna see me every week, whether you like it or not. And I'll just keep bringing it, whatever I'm guided to bring to you. And I want to be of service. I really do. And I'm here. I'm here for y'all. So peace and love, and we will reconvene at a different time. Take care until we meet again.